location you're getting ready to watch wasn't eerie, wasn't scary, wasn't frightening in the least bit. Hey kids, it's Papa with Paranormal Papa Investigations. Welcome to another episode of Paranormal Flashback. You know, being an investigator, a lot of times we go out to these historic locations. We try to follow up on a lot of the myths and legends of spiritual habitation, hauntings. God, what are some of our most famous Revolutionary War soldiers that supposedly still protect and watch over these different locations? Skinwalkers, shapeshifters, mimics. Just plain old ghosts. But when we first started off filming our investigations, we were historians, and as the channel began to gain, the original channel began to gain popularity, I actually registered the name parahistorian, parahistoric. I sit and I think about some of the locations we went to where it wasn't just the fact that there were supposedly spirits at these locations, but they were historic based spirits of people who are registered in those, who are mentioned, who are talked about in those history books, the history books of old, because we know today they don't talk about a lot of the people from the past. A lot of people don't realize that southern Michigan was very big in the Underground Railroad movement. Those freedom seekers, those escaped slaves, the ones who managed to be freed, which was very rare, would make their way up from the southern states into Indiana or Ohio, from there into Michigan. And then, thanks to a lot of good people, they either went further up north in Michigan or crossed into Canada to start a new life. They had multiple routes for the Underground Railroad. And way back, like 4 years ago, Mark and I wanted to go out and actually look at a couple of these cemeteries that were on the Underground Railroad route. Now, of course, we looked at not just the route itself, but any interactions that we got with our equipment. We looked at the former landowners. We looked at the U.S. colored troops during the American Civil War. What we got. Wow, what we got. Hey guys, welcome to a special investigation, actually a double investigation.
Come by the 19th Indiana guy. I'm picking up a lot of interesting stuff. Why was he even wounded at a battlefield? Conditions could be same thing.
As with every good story, you must not forget the beginning to find the answers in the ending. Every town, every village has its own myths and legends. Some of these are steeped in fact, while others are just stories created to frighten the young. We will not forget our past. They help us to find the answers in our future. These are Paranormal Papa's Paranormal Flashback. Hey guys, welcome to a special investigation, actually a double investigation. We're going to be doing the Chain Lakes Cemetery and the Brush Lake Cemetery today. Right now we're at Chain Lake. This is our first daytime investigation, not only looking into the haunted history, but also the history. Both cemeteries were instrumental on the Underground Railroad route to help the freed and escaped slaves escape the southern states and eventually make it up here to the free states to freedom. Mark, you done all the research on this. Why don't you tell them what history you got on this cemetery?
Well, as Drew was saying, we're at the Chain Lake Cemetery, and it was very instrumental on the Underground Railroad. As soon as I do my speech and stuff, pretty much we're here over an acre. On the other side of the cemetery is where the original Baptist church was at. This was the very first African American church in Cass County, Michigan. So once I start doing, letting you guys know what's going on, and we'll see what happens. Like I said, this is our first daytime, so we'll see if we can get anything during broad daylight. So, as I mentioned earlier, we're here at Chain Lake Cemetery. This is stop number 4 out of Cass County's 8 stops in the Underground Railroad area. In the 1830s, Southern runaway slaves bound for Canada came to Cassopolis, Michigan. Some of those families were from North Carolina and Virginia. Some of these persons were considered to be Native American or mixed Native and African American. In the 1840s, Cass County's Quaker community provided a safe haven and became known as part of the Underground Railroad. Many free African Americans organized their very first church back in 1848. Hence, the church right over there is Chain Lake Missionary Baptist Church. The Baptist Church was organized by David Lett on January 14, 1848, with only 8 members. At that time, the church was of a log cabin, and it is still active as today. Now, 1856, a couple by the name of Turner and Irena Bird donated an acre of land for what is now Chain Lake Cemetery, which we're at. The cemetery consists of 1,700 graves, which 400 of them date back to the 19th century. In the cemetery has several pioneers, early escaped slaves are buried here, free slaves, and Probably the most I've ever seen of colored troops that fought in the Civil War are buried over here. Now, here I have is a binder of every colored troop that fought in the state of Michigan. In this binder, I've done a lot of research. Also like to thank the University of Michigan for helping me locate all the information of the muster dates, where they fought, what regiments. Pretty much their most famous out of Michigan is the 102nd Colored Troops. But there were several other regiments, also a artillery battery that was just normally just full of colored troops as well. So of all the research and all the cemeteries that Drew and I have done, this cemetery has the most colored troops buried. Like I said, probably over 20 are buried here. So this is going to be interesting.
Alright guys, I was just over on the far west side of the cemetery investigating the graves of the gravestones I can still read on United States Colored Infantry 102nd, and Mark radioed me, said he was over here at the south side of the cemetery on the tree line, and his voice box actually brought up He's Evil and Felon. So I came over to this side. I've got the REM pod set up on the gravestone right now. I'm going to get the voice recorder out, and we're going to see what we can find. It's important to note that after we conducted this investigation, we had more time to study the maps of the Underground Railroad route through the county, and just about 50 yards behind this monument is the actual trail that a lot of those escaped slaves and freedom seekers followed into the county. Is anybody here with me right now? My friend just got He's Evil and Felon on his voice box. Now, again, it's important to note that post-investigation, we delved into the story of the Underground Railroad and some of the African Americans that came to the county. These terms, these phrases confused us. So as we looked into the history, we found out that there was a non-Quaker farmer who often treated the escaped slaves and freedom seekers under his care as cruelly as the southern plantation owners did before their escape. There's a little black box sitting here on this grave. You get near it. Let me show you real quick. See? You get near it, and it will show us you're here. Oh, just got a little tiny dip. This box in my hand, if you get near it, it'll start lighting lights up.
I just got the word disturbing.
Disturbing?
Disturbing. After you started doing that.
There's another little tiny tap. I'm getting just single.
Now I just got the word history.
History? Huh.
But after doing a little research on this couple, I couldn't find anything. So I don't know what that means of them saying that he's evil and felon.
Well, you just, I don't know if you guys can see this on film or not, but we're getting just single little flashes on the first band of the EMF detector. Time to pull out the voice box, see what we can find.
Because both of them died before the Civil War.
Hello, is anybody here? Sarah Calloway or Lavinia Calloway? Do either one of you hear me? If you get near this little black box sitting on your grave or your headstone here, your monument, and let me show you real quick. If you just get near it, you'll make it make sounds and make lights light up. Or this little silver box in my hand right here, it'll actually record what you're saying if you have the strength to leave a message. Does anybody have anything they'd like to say? Sarah or Lavinia? Hello? Is anybody here? Sarah Calloway or Lavinia Calloway? Does anybody have anything they'd like to say? Sarah or Lavinia? Hello? Is anybody here? Sarah Calloway or Lavinia Calloway? Does anybody have anything they'd like to say? Sarah or Lavinia? Okay, I just heard something there. As Mark was moving his foot, I heard almost a whisper. Mr. Stewart, it says you were with the 45th U.S. Colored Troops. Company D.
There was something very unusual about the grave of Mr. Stewart. It almost seemed as if we were getting voices from the tree lines all around us. But yet this cemetery is located out in the middle of nowhere, and we have no idea the origin of what we were hearing and feeling at that time.
Mr. Stewart, 45th U.S. Colored Troops, Company D. I've got a little silver box in my hand right here. If you can muster the strength and speak, it can record what you're saying for me to listen to later. Can you speak into the little silver box? Could you tell us what the war was like, sir, what you saw? Is it possible for you to speak into this little box, sir? Let me know what the war was like, what you may have seen.
Now, I'll attempt to bring the volume up high enough where you guys can hear what I'm hearing. It almost sounds like Class A voice recordings we can hear with our naked ear in the wind. This absolutely blew me away. I had no clue until editing that it was picked up on the recording.
Mr. Stewart, 45th U.S. Collar Troops, Company D. I've got a little silver box in my hand right here. If you can muster the strength, could you tell us what the war was like, sir, what you saw? Is it possible for you to speak into this little box, sir? Let me know what the war was like, what you may have seen. Nothing. Mr. James Stewart, Company D, 12th U.S. Colored Infantry. We're historians, sir. We're here to learn about you, to learn from you. If you're with us, could you tell us what the war was like, what you saw, sir? On top of your headstone is a small black box. If you get near it, lights will light up and it'll make a sound. And the little box laying on the ground, if you get near it, red lights will light up across the top of it. Could you make contact with any of these devices? This little silver box in my hand will actually record your voice if you speak to us. Could you tell us what the war was like, sir? Mr. James Stewart, Company D, 12th U.S. Colored Infantry. This little silver box in my hand will actually record your voice if you speak to us. Could you tell us what the war was like, sir? What is that crackling noise? good. That was very weird. All right, guys, I think that's going to conclude Chain Lakes Cemetery. We're getting a little bit of activity. Tell them about what you got on your voice box when I was on the other side of the cemetery.
Well, when I was doing my own investigation, as Drew said, he was off doing his own. I went inside the woods and I noticed a headstone by the name of Calloway. So I put out my voice box, and first word I got was "he evil." I'm like, okay. And then seconds later, it said felon. And I'm like, okay. So I try to do a quick research on the couple. Could not find anything. They passed away way before the Civil War. And just as Drew was trying to do his own session, I got the word disturby.
I mean, I got some things on voice recording and stuff. I mean, I'm going to have to put the headphones on, run the recordings through word recognition to see if it can make out anything, because they were so light.
Right.
It just, you really couldn't tell with just the naked ear if it was. But that last one I done just a little bit ago, we got that strange crackly. It didn't really sound like words, but it went from being a very inactive conversation to that. So I'm gonna have to like really check that out. We're gonna go on and move on to the second cemetery on the little Underground Railroad cemetery tour today. Stay tuned. All right, guys, we are at cemetery number 2 on our Underground Railroad cemetery investigation today. Birch Lake Cemetery. What do you got on this one, bud?
Drew says this is part of the Underground Railroad stop number 3. Like Chain Lake Cemetery and Church, that was stop number 4. In the 1830s, the local Quakers of Cass County built a meeting house across the street from us. Back in 1856, it was a log cabin. During that time, it got dismantled and turned into another better version of a meeting house until that one just mysteriously disappeared.
So, mysteriously disappeared.
That's what I was reading. Is it true or not? I'm not sure. So, but that's what I saw. So all we now have is just a small field and a sign that says the meeting house was right here.
Yeah, I'll put a picture of it up right here.
Cemetery behind us was once the James East Farm. The original name of the cemetery was called Friends of the Cemetery of the Quakers. Later, East Cemetery, and then finally Birch Lake Cemetery. Now, the farmer James donated land to the community, put this cemetery up. Inside the cemetery, we have more color troops, which we didn't do much on the last one because a lot of the color troops, they really didn't see much action. They were just, they mustered in, signed up, and they were just more of a hired help, dig trenches, breastworks, maintained a little bit of everything. It wasn't as notarized as the 54th Massachusetts that fought at Fort Wagner in outside Charleston, South Carolina. Also in here that I found was a person that fought for the 19th Indiana, famously Iron Brigade that fought in Gettysburg. Also a World War I person who died in the Argonne Forest. So a lot of history here as well. We'll see what we can find here.
Alright guys, Mark and I are walking through Birch Lake Cemetery and trying to find a place to to start the investigation from. And he got over here by the Nicole William Wright grave and got the words "not calm" on his box. It's chilly out here. We'll see what we can find. Alright guys, we're here at the East grave, Jacob East and Emmeline East, and their 12 children. I'm gonna set up here and see if maybe one or two of the 14 will actually talk to us. Hello, East family. Jacob, Emmeline, Franklin, Ellison, Anson, Salvador, Jay, Thomas, Sarah, Hannah, Eliza, Catherine, Rachel, Leonard. Are any of you here with us? If you'll look on top of your monument, there are two little black boxes. One of them, if you get very close to it, let me show you. It'll make a sound and little lights will light up. The other box sitting beside it, if you get near it, you will have little red lights light up on top, and it too will make a sound. Can you communicate with us? Can you say anything to us?
Now, if you listen closely here in just a moment, Mark will call me on the radio, and you will hear what sounds like a deeper voice talking just moments, seconds, milliseconds before he begins talking over the radio.
Drew, come in. Drew, come in. Drew, come in. Drew, come in.
What do you got, brother?
Turn around, come by the 19th Indiana guy. I'm picking up a lot of interesting stuff.
Gotcha. Hello, East family. Jacob, Emmeline, Franklin, Ellison, Anson, Salvador, Jay, Thomas, Sarah, Hannah, Eliza, Catherine, Rachel, Leonard. Can you communicate with us? Can you say anything to us?
Drew, come in.
Well, we know who that is. Brother?
Turn around, come by the 19th Indiana guy. I'm picking up a lot of interesting stuff.
I'm sorry, East family. Are any of you here with us? Or can any of you talk into this little silver box? It'll actually record your voice. And I can hear what you sound like. If anyone can speak into this little box, I'd really appreciate it. Sorry, I was conducting a...
No, you're fine. It's funny. I had this thing charged and now it's dead. It's funny. I had this thing charged and now it's
I'm
dead.
sorry, East family. Are any of you here with us? Or can any of you talk into this little silver box? It'll actually record your voice. And I can hear what you sound like. Yeah, mine's still fully charged. That's weird. This little box.
It's really hard because I
really appreciate it.
Charged up all last night.
All right, guys, we're here at this grave that Mark radioed me about when I was up with the East family. We're going to give this thing a try. He said he was getting a lot of activity here. Let me go and kick on the voice recorder. Mr. Moser, Iron Brigade, 19th Indiana. Are you here with us, sir? On top of your headstone, you will see two little black boxes. 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 The one to the north, if you touch it, little red lights will light up on it. It'll make a small buzzing sound, like a bee. The one on the south side, if you get near it, I will show you. Different colored lights will light up and it will beep. These let me know that you're here. This little silver box in my hand right here will actually record your voice. Do you have anything you'd like to say to us, sir? Tell us about Gettysburg. Tell us about the war. Tell us what you saw, sir. Can you get close to either one of those little black boxes? Would you like to talk to us, sir? We study history. We'd like to know what really happened.
Now, everyone at home, a little about Mr. Moser was he enlisted in Company I, 19th Indiana, back in 1861. 19th Indiana, along with 3 other Wisconsin regiments, were the original of Iron Brigade until 24 Michigan came in late 1862. His first combat action was at Browner's Farm, just before the Battle of Antietam. He got wounded in the left shoulder, survived, and went on to fight in Gettysburg. Survived that battle, and he pretty much his muster was up in 1864. He re-enlisted with the 149th Indiana and stayed with that regiment all the way up to the end of the Civil War. So.
Mr. Moser, Iron Brigade, 19th Indiana. Are you here with us, sir? On top of your headstone, you will see 2 little black boxes. The one to the north, if you touch it, little red lights will light up on it. It'll make a small buzzing sound, like a bee. The one on the south side, if you get near it, I will show you. Different colored lights will light up and it will beep. These let me know that you're here. This little silver box in my hand right here will actually record your voice. Do you have anything you'd like to say to us, sir? Tell us about Gettysburg. Tell us about the war. Tell us what you saw, sir. those little black boxes? Would you like to talk to us, sir? We study history. We'd like to know what really happened.
When arriving at Birch Lake Cemetery, the on-screen display on my device was still showing 100%. When I came to this grave with Mark less than 15 minutes ago, it was at 98%. It is now showing 20%. We can't explain this.
All right, guys. I have to wait till editing to find out exactly what I was able to grab here at the Mosier grave. But Mark has got a list of words that came through on his box when he signaled me to come over here earlier. Mark, what did you get?
Pretty much the question, stuff that I got was like right after another. First one was sadness. Then the other one was conditions. The other one was murder and question. Oh, I know a lot of these soldiers for the first time had to shoot another person, which that was considered murdering another person for no apparent reason. But it's war. Everyone is murderers because they shoot and kill other people.
It was at this point that I noticed the recording was starting to get very jittery and choppy. I pulled up my on-screen display and it was showing battery power now at 12%.
But him questioning, that's probably his reason, was like questioning why was he shooting the Confederates? Why was he in this war? Why was another person shooting at him? Or why was he even wounded at a battlefield? Conditions could be same thing.
All right, guys, you ain't going to believe this. Mark and I both left home with fully charged batteries on our radios and our phones. We have done less than an hour of footage in these two cemeteries. My phone just died right in the middle of Mark's explaining about Mr. Mosier. Mark's radio died when he was on his way up to visit me up there at the East Grave earlier where I was at. They may not be talking a lot, they may not be moving a lot, but they are taking the energy any way they can get it. So, I guess that's going to complete it, y'all. Thanks for coming out, checking out our Underground Railroad cemetery tour, our first daytime investigation. I wish Mark could be in here with me, but he's holding his phone right now, recording this before his phone dies. He has enough for one video, enough power.
Yeah.
So
It's been an interesting daytime investigation.
yeah,
So
yeah.
It's
We're going to have to come back out to these two cemeteries some evening, though. Just come well armed. All the reviews say if you're going to do stuff around here, do it during the daytime. There are a lot of predators. We do have mountain lion in Michigan. We do have bear in Michigan, and the other cemetery has a lot of rocky riverfront, hilly, stone face areas in that woods back there. So when we come back out, you'll be the first to know. So until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. God bless you, God love you, we do. And we'll see you on down the road. All right, guys.
we just got back to the studio to start going through what little bit of interaction we actually had from our Underground Railroad tour, stops 3 and 4, Chain Lake Cemetery and Birch Lake Cemetery. Like I said at the beginning, they weren't eerie, they weren't frightening in any way, shape, or form. But somebody needed some energy, and they got it the only way they could. His radio, both cameras, the voice box, and start hitting my radio before we got out of there. Everything was charged at 100% when we left. All the more reason to go out and get an EM pump. They need the energy to be able to communicate. If we, as investigators, want to have that open communication, want to have that interaction, got to do what we can do to help out. And I was happy to share my energy with them. But that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this Underground Railroad tour, the 2 cemeteries we done today, Chain Lakes and Birch Lake Cemetery, right here in Cass County, Michigan. If you would please, I'd like to ask you to share this video out to your friends, your family, anybody who likes history, anybody who likes the paranormal, anybody who likes the parahistoric, like-minded people. Definitely subscribe. It's free. Don't cost anything to subscribe. And don't forget, hit that little bell. That way you'll know when new videos come out. And we prove time and time again, you never know what we're going to talk about. So until next time, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. God bless you. God love you, we do. Happy hunting.